Hello peoples, welcome to Legion class guide for patch 7.0 at level 100. Today I'm covering the priest class. Before I begin, I will start by saying that you should keep in mind that the class changes were made to suit a character who has obtained their artifact weapon and has reached Legion's max level of 110. So while this may not be the most accurate guide to follow at endgame, it can be a very good place to start. I'll only be going over each spec's basic abilities and how they work together. You can use this as a template upon which to build your talents. If there's enough interest, I can start including my own personal talent choice in these videos, or do a separate set of videos based solely on talents. First up is Holy Priest. Heal is your slow sheep heal, and Flash Heal is your fast expensive heal. Both are used for single target healing, with Flash Heal being used when someone needs a lot of healing quickly. Renew places a heal over time on your target. This should be maintained on a primary target and can also be placed on anyone who needs to be topped off. You could even split single target healing by using Renew on one target and Heal or Flash Heal on another. Renew's overall healing amount isn't as much as Heal or Flash Heal, but your mastery can help out a bit with this. Echo of Light is a passive effect that causes your direct heals to also heal their target over time for 6 seconds. One last single target heal is Holy Serenity. This is an instant cast spell for a massive amount on a 1-minute cooldown. The cooldown can be reduced by casting Heal or Flash Heal thanks to the passive ability Serendipity. Each Heal or Flash Heal reduces its cooldown by 6 seconds. For multiple targets, you have Prayer of Healing and Holy Word Sanctify. Prayer of Healing heals up to 5 allies within 20 yards of the target. Holy Word Sanctify is an instant cast spell, heals for about 3 times as much as Prayer of Healing, but has a 60-second cooldown and covers a smaller area of 10 yards. As with Holy Word Serenity, you can reduce Holy Word Sanctify's cooldown by the same amount per cast by casting Prayer of Healing. Even though you can reduce their cast times, try to use Holy Word Serenity and Holy Word Sanctify when needed most. A Flash Heal and a Renew may be good for quickly healing a single target, and casting Renew on multiple targets, then 1 or 2 casts of Prayer of Healing might be good enough for area of effect healing. Prayer of Mending is a unique spell. It places a buff on your target for 30 seconds and has 5 stacks. When that target takes damage, they are healed for a small amount, the buff jumps to another player, and the number of stacks decreased by 1. The duration is refreshed to 30 seconds each time it jumps. The cooldown is not very long, so depending on how quickly the stacks are used up, you may be able to have 2 or 3 of them bouncing around at all times. You should try to keep at least 1 up to do a bit of extra healing while you're focusing on refreshing Renew and reducing your Holy Word spell cooldowns. And lastly, Purify. It removes all disease and harmful magic effects on a friendly target. Most of the time, these effects should be removed right away. That's it for Holy, and now for Discipline. Discipline priests have a new functionality in Legion. Basically, they heal allies by damaging enemies. To explain this further, by using Plea, Power Word Shield, Shadow Mend, and Power Word Radiance, the affected targets gain Atonement for 15 seconds. For that time, they are healed for a percentage of the damage you deal. I'll begin by covering the abilities which apply Atonement. Plea is an instant cast, low-cost heal. This may sound like an easy way to spam heal everyone to full health, but its mana cost increases by 100% for each target with Atonement. Good for quickly applying Atonement and quickly healing a small number of targets. Long-term repeated use of this may leave you low on mana. Shadow Mend is a fast, expensive heal that heals for a large amount and applies Atonement, but the target will take 5% of that amount in damage every second until they've taken a total of 50% of the initial heal in damage from all sources. Overall, the target would be left with more health than they started with, and they would also have Atonement. This is a good spell to quickly heal allies low on health and need Atonement applied or refreshed. Shadow Mend will also not cause the target to take its damage over time effect when they are out of combat. This is good for quickly healing everyone between trash or questing by yourself. Power Word Shield works much as it did before. It applies an absorption shield to a target for 15 seconds on a cooldown. It also applies Atonement, and it no longer causes the Weakened Mind debuff. You can refresh a target's shield whenever Power Word Shield is ready. This will be used a lot on a tank or other primary healing targets. Power Word Radiance is an area of effect spell. It is a slow cast spell that heals a primary target and 2 of their allies and applies Atonement. This is good for applying Atonement to multiple targets, but not as a reliable area of effect healing spell. As a quick reminder, use these abilities appropriately to apply or refresh atonement to whoever needs healing, then deal damage to enemies to heal your atonement targets for a percentage of the damage done. To deal damage and heal with atonement, you will use Smite, Penance, and Shadow Word Pain. Smite is a quick cast spell that deals damage to a single target and also causes an amount of damage that target deals to be absorbed. This can be used repeatedly to heal steadily with atonement, or by casting it on several targets to cause an amount of damage they all do to be absorbed. Penance can no longer be cast on a friendly target to heal them as before, but with the talent, the Penitent, you can use it this way if you prefer. Penance is a channeled spell that can be cast while moving. It deals damage to your target over a short time. The amount of healing done through atonement with this damage is faster than repeatedly casting Smite, good for when someone needs to be healed quickly. But if they do not have atonement or their current atonement is about to expire, cast Shadow Mend first. Shadow Word Pain deals damage over time to a single target. This causes atonement to heal passively, while you apply and maintain atonement on allies as needed, and while you deal damage with Smite and Penance. For single target healing, apply atonement with either Plea or Power Word Shield, then apply Shadow Word Pain to enemies, the more the better, and just cast Smite, refreshing Shadow Word Pain and Power Word Shield as needed. Penance can be used to heal a little quicker or Shadow Mend instead, if their atonement is close to expiring or if Penance is not ready. For area of effect healing, you can first apply atonement with either several casts of Plea, or with fewer casts of Power Word Radiance. Immediately follow that up with Penance, then apply Shadow Word Pain to as many targets as possible. Depending on the situation, you may want to start by quickly healing lower health targets up first with Shadow Mend or Plea, instead of Power Word Radiance. And lastly, Purify. It removes all disease and harmful magic effects on a friendly target. Most of the time, these effects should be removed right away. Discipline is new to everyone in patch 7.0, even me, but I hope I've learned and explained it enough to give you a good understanding of the spec. That's it for Discipline. Now for Shadow. Shadow Priests have a new resource in patch 7.0 called Insanity. This is generated by casting Vampiric Touch, Shadow Word Pain, Mind Blast, and Mind Flay. Vampiric Touch generates 4 Insanity, deals damage over time, and heals the priest for 50% of the damage done. Naturally, having more of these active will increase your self-healing. Shadow Word Pain generates 3 Insanity and also deals damage over time, but has no added effect. Keep these 2 effects active on your target at all times. Mind Blast generates 14 Insanity and has a cooldown. Because of the amount of Insanity it generates, you will want to use this as much as possible. When Vampiric Touch and Shadow Word Pain don't need to be refreshed and Mind Blast is on cooldown, cast Mind Flay. It's a channeled spell that slows the target and deals damage and generates Insanity over time. Mind Seer can be used instead of Mind Flay when facing multiple enemies. It is also a channeled spell that deals damage and generates Insanity over time, but it does not slow its primary target, and the amount of Insanity generated over its duration is only 6, compared to Mind Flay's 10. However, this amount is per target, making it 12 Insanity over its duration for 2 targets hit, 18 Insanity for 3 targets, and so on. Once the Insanity bar is full, Void Eruption can be used to enter Void form. While in Void form, you deal increased damage, the cooldown on Mind Blast is reduced by 3 seconds, you gain stacking haste over time, and your Insanity drains at an increasing rate. You are meant to use your Insanity-generating abilities to maintain Void form as long as possible and maximize your damage output. The stacking haste buff remains after exiting Void form for 1 minute, or until Void form is activated again. This makes it so that entering Void form once again will be a little quicker. While in Void form, Void Eruption is replaced by Void Bolt. It deals instant damage and refreshes the duration of Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch and generates 16 Insanity. Without having to refresh Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch normally, you will only have to cast Void Bolt, Mind Blast, and Mind Flay, or Mind Seer if facing multiple enemies. I've found it most effective to use Void Bolt as every other spell during Void form, alternating between Mind Blast and Mind Flay while waiting for its cooldown. Mind Blast is still a priority over Mind Flay because it generates more Insanity. For area of effect damage, it may be better to maintain your damage over time effects on just one target instead of applying them to as many as possible. This way you can play as you would against a single target, and Mind Seer would generate more Insanity than Mind Flay. Applying damage over time effects to multiple targets is still an option, but it gets increasingly difficult to maintain and effectively generate insanity with more damage over time effects to maintain. While in Void form, you only need to alternate between Void Bolt and Mind Seer. A quick reminder, Void Bolt will refresh the duration of Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch on the target. If you have more than one target afflicted with Shadow Word Pain and Vampiric Touch while in Void form, you may want to alternate in casting Void Bolt between them to refresh the duration of those damage over time effects on both targets. And this concludes the class guide for priests in patch 7.0 at level 100. All of this may change slightly or a lot depending on your talent choice. Whichever you decide, this will be the model that you build your character upon. If you'd like to know more, have any questions, or want to request a specific class for me to go over next, you can check out the video description for more info, or feel free to ask in the comments. If you liked this video, leave a like, and if you want to see more class guide videos or anything else I do, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, peace well, stay well, farewell.